Greetings, Noob D&D Dad here, and I have just DM'd my 30th session as a Dungeon Master in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and I want to tell you 30 things that I've learned in doing that. Here we go. Number 1, I love this. I'm having so much fun. I never could have imagined what kind of creative outlet this would have been, and I'm having an absolute blast. 2, the community is amazing. From all the other D&D YouTubers to just the people who comment and people in forums, it is so incredible and welcoming and supportive and willing to give me suggestions and encourage me along the way. Number 3, this Dungeons & Dragons can actually work for little kids. My 8-year-old is playing this game. Even though some of the pictures in here scare him and says he might have nightmares from them, I feel like I can modify the game while we play to be friendly for his age. And I'm so excited to keep sharing how it's going, kind of modifying it for him, and how I have to kind of tone back some of the things that I want to have happen. Taking a little break to soothe this guy. Number 4. It's therapeutic for everyone and army vets. So I find it incredibly therapeutic and cathartic, and I think it is especially so for army veterans because they all keep coming back, and it's a really good time. So myself, I've been in for a while, and I have not deployed. All my time has been spent in training. So I have been able to go to some really cool places for that, but yeah, somehow I've made it almost 11 years without having been deployed, but that's not the case for the rest of my group. So I think it's therapeutic, if I may be so bold to say so, for them. Number 5 is kind of along the same lines, is that it is a great escape. It is fun to just go into this fantasy world and go adventure and, yeah, just escape. Number 6, anything can happen. I love this about it. This is one of my absolute favorite things, is that if you can imagine it, it can happen. And I love when they come up with things, and I love that I can just come up with anything I want. Speaking of which, number 7 is anything will happen. So I can prepare. I can write down in my notes, okay, here's all the different places they might go after this, but they will totally pick something different and go somewhere totally different than I didn't expect, and I love it. Number 8, there's a lot of rules. Number 9, you can improv the rules, and I've been doing my best to learn the rules because I really want to play the game as it's written. But at the same time, I've been having fun making up weapons and making up magic items. So I've made up some grenades that you're going to hear about, and I made up a cloak of swagger that gives you +1 charisma. So I've been having lots of fun making things up, and it's seemed to be totally encouraged in this game. Number 10, the pre-written stuff is amazing. I'm playing Dragon of Icespire Peak right now, and it's great. It tells you exactly what to do and how to run it, and you really don't have to be very creative, and you can just run it right out of the book. And I really like that and really respect that. Number 11. There's a million opinions on how stuff can be done. Number 12. As I seek out help online, I discovered there's a ton of people selling their own stuff for 5th edition. Tons. So quite a lot of people seem to be trying to get you to buy their stuff. Number 13, I still don't know anything about the world of D&D. 14, it's okay that I still don't know about the world because I can make it my own. And I've been loving that. I've been loving looking at the maps and just being like, sure, this is what the map says, but like I'm going to populate that area with something else, and that's okay. Number 15, milestone leveling is cool. I like it. It has kind of like you almost get rewarded for story beats almost. So I like it. The Dragon of Icespire Peak that I'm DMing for 2 different groups it tells you, it says after you complete so many quests, give them a level. And I like it. It's simple, and it just makes nice breakpoints. Number 16 is I really want to try XP leveling. And the more I think about it, the more I want to try it, because I realize that you don't just have to get XP from killing monsters. You can also get it from doing other stuff. So I'd love to learn more about XP leveling and try it one day. All right, this next one, number 17, I can tailor it to fast-paced army vets who just want to get the most out of their short time playing it. Number 18, I can tailor it to my son's slower, more methodical group, where they want to go through everything, open every door, look in every box. They want to tip over every rock, and I can run both ways, and it's fun. Number 19, magic items. I have learned a lot, and I know that I still don't know a lot about magic items, but I am loving them. I'm loving, like I said earlier, making up my own, but also just trying to find the right balance of placing them around the map. And then there's also a difference of placing them on the map and kind of populating them as the players go to places. Does that make sense? So in my head, I've planted some things around the map that are super epic, but who knows if they'll ever go there. But then I also generate things on the spot, so I kind of do both. And then I've been trying to learn how that they're eventually going to sell them and what their value's worth. And I think I'm looking at Xanthar's Guide, if that's how you pronounce it, for that. Number 20, and I've talked about this, but the loot and the Dungeon Master's Guide treasure tables. I don't know if it's because I have a gambling soul or what it is, but I absolutely love the treasure tables. I love when it's time to loot something, and when the book describes what it is, sure, but sometimes they loot something that I invented, and I just have them roll a D100 and go to the treasure table, and it is so much fun. Number 21, apparently there's some beef with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Number 22, and this one might be a little bit naughty, but you can Google any D&D book, and there will be a fresh, clean, high-quality PDF for free as the top result. So, I mean, you see that hasn't stopped me from buying them, but that's something I've learned. Number 23, this game has incredible artwork. I love looking at and talking about and friendly making fun of the amazing and plentiful artwork in this game. Also, side note, have you seen my artwork commentary shorts on this channel? Going back to the book pile here, number 24. This game is huge. Huge as far as like written text goes, but huge as far as worldwide players go. It's absolutely huge-mongous, and I think that's a good thing. Number 25, I have observed this many, many times, and so it's made the list. Everybody perks up when you talk about D&D and they overhear you and they're a fan. And I'm talking about when you're in real life places, talking to my friend about D&D, you see people's faces. They look at you and they're like, nerds. But then you see other people's faces and they're like, I know what that is. People seriously perk up when they hear about it. I think people love this thing, and they're all over the place. They're everywhere. This one is so true of me. 26, details fade fast if you don't write them down. So just to make these videos, but also just while I'm DMing, if I give them a character name, or if I say which direction they're going, or if I add something to the map that's not there, like, goodness, I have got to write it down because those details will fade fast as soon as they walk away from that area. 27, and this one's a little bit naughty too. Hopefully I don't do it too much, but sometimes I have to override the dice. So whether that's I'm like, oh, you have advantage on that roll, or I'm like, actually, you had inspiration from that thing a while ago. I don't do that too much. Or I'm just like, I roll something and I'm like, nope. So I've done it very rarely, but it's felt very appropriate when I do have to do it. But I learned that I do have to do it sometimes. All right, number 28. This might be my absolute favorite thing about DMing so far. And that is, I've learned that I like making things up on the fly. I did this when I tell my kids stories. I like to just make things up as I go and just challenge myself to populate what the characters in the story experience or in the game. So in the game, I like to, just as I'm explaining things, I like to just put in little details like there's this, or there's a table, or there's a building over here, or there's a person. You see this person and this is what they're doing. Like you see crowds, this is what they're doing. I love to just present additional information that's not in the book for them to make decisions. And I love it. And it's also a little bit scary when I present something and then they're like, ooh, and they want to go look at it. Like when I told you about that building that was half frozen and they just super fixated on it. And I was like, oh man, what is in that building? And I had to make it up on the fly. And I love that. It's so much fun to challenge myself by just presenting weird little hooks all over the place to just see if they grab them. And then once they do grab them, I'm like, okay, well, what's over there? Let's see. Let's go see together. Let's go see together what it is. So I really feel like I'm playing. Number 29, and this one cannot be overstated, it is bonding. And in a good way. For me and my son, me and my friends, the Army vets, it just feels bonding. It feels like bonding because you're sharing hardship, right? It's artificial hardship, but you're also sharing in some very real comedy, and you're not going to forget these things. Like everyone's telling me that your kid's going to remember this, or you're going to remember this, and it's true. Like it's so funny that my friend got impaled by a ballista bolt into the ground. Like it just brings me joy to think of that. And then I think of all the gnomes I had pee their pants, and made my son giggle. Like it's super bonding, and I love that about it. All right, number 30, the 30th thing that I've learned as a new DM, having DM'd 30 sessions. That is 15 for my son's group, my son and my friend's group, and 15 for the Army veteran group. So the number 30 is group storytelling. So I have the general outline, but together we create a story that we're all experiencing and we're all learning together, and that is awesome. It's like you could write down the events of every session and it would become like a crazy novel. But yeah, it is group storytelling. The story's not mine. I'm just presenting things and they're making the decision. So really I feel like it's 50-50 with the group storytelling. And it's like this epic long multi-session story, and I get things out of doing this that I absolutely don't get out of watching TV or movies or playing video games, because they're all limited, and this is completely unlimited, whatever you can imagine. And I am trying to play within the confines of the game, but they almost give you unlimited options. So group storytelling, number 30. All right, bonus is my wife has been incredible to let me and my son play this for hours and watch the other kids so that we can do that. And I'll end where I started, back at number 1, which is I love this. And I'm so new to it, but I'm having so much fun. So that's my 30 things that I've learned as a new DM. So thanks for watching. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Please join me for said journey, and I'd love to hear from you. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye.